Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome my fellow movie geeks. Today on Late Night Movies, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse, because we'll be talking about the Oscar-winning drama Tsotsi. You know what, movie geeks? Maybe it's time we try something new. We here at Late Night Movies are very proud to present to you, my movie geeks, an all-exclusive interview with the director of Tsotsi, Gavin Hood. This movie tells the story of a troubled kid calling himself tsotsi. This means bully in South African. This boy was let down very early in his life, which leads him down a very dark path of life. But an unexpected set of events changes this young boy's life in a matter of seconds. Now my lovely colleague will give you movie geeks an update on today's South African society and their general situation. So, take it away, Ida.
Thank you, Nico. When talking about this spectacular movie, Tsotsi, some general facts about South Africa are essential as they will help you understand the movie better. South Africa is a complex country with a dark past one must consider in order to understand the present. After many painful years with racism, discrimination and neglect, South Africa deals with some major consequences and difficulties even today, and the situation in the country is far from optimal, even though a lot has happened since apartheid raged. Over half the population lives below the poverty line and a quarter of the population are unemployed. Thousands of children grow up orphaned, mostly due to the premature deaths of their parents, often caused by HIV or AIDS, which more than a fifth of the adult population lives with. This results in thousands of children living on the street or in shacklands composed by scrap and garbage. These children have to provide for themselves and are thereby robbed of their childhoods. This is also reflected in the movie Tsotsi we're here to talk about. We see children living in a group of large construction pipes, which is really realistic in the slum areas of South Africa in real life too. In the movie, it's also very clear that the streets aren't safe and that crimes are committed frequently. Today in South Africa, violent crime costs the lives of over 20,000 people a year. Furthermore, armed robbery, car stealing, rape, severe attacks and burglary happens every single day. Jacob Zuma has been the president of South Africa since 2009. The government has built up a constitutional democracy as the political frame of the country. There's a quite steady economic growth, but it is minor than expected and what many could wish for. South Africa is still, despite the improvement, a country where the difference between rich and poor is significant. The country has solved a lot of issues, but is still facing many challenges, economically as well as socially and democratically.
Thank you so much, Ida. Now on to our exciting guest. Hello, my friend. We are so proud to have you on our show today.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, and congrats on your Oscar. That must be such an honor for you.
No, it's not for me. It's for the actors, the camera crew. No, it's for the South African people. God Galele. God bless Africa.
Wow, African and everything. That's authentic. Are you actually African?
I was born in Johannesburg and I identify as a South African.
So if you're from Africa, why are you white? Oh my god, Karen, you can't just ask people why they're white.
Why did you create this movie?
We made this movie to show people the life in Johannesburg, which is affected by drugs issues, gang-based crime and poverty. By following this young criminal Tsotsi, we get an insight in this young boy's life in these townships. This movie comes from the heart and all of us has worked really hard to make it happen.
Was it difficult to film this movie?
Thanks to our fantastic camera crew, the filming part couldn't have gone any better. Of course, it's always difficult to make the shooting scenes seem as real as possible, but I think my team did a marvelous job. Because of the lack of dialogue in this film, it was important to us that the sounds of the streets were real, so we spent a great deal of time to make that happen, otherwise it would seem a bit fake.
So how true to reality is this movie actually? Because in some parts it can seem very scripted, you know, with the whole bad guy gone good kind of theme.
This is mainly a story of a young man's redemption, and of course it is a recognizable theme. It is kind of a timeless story and could be placed anywhere in the world, but placing here in Johannesburg gives it a different kind of vibrancy, a unique one. I myself was born here, so it really comes from the heart. The movie gives you an insight into a world that the majority of people are familiar with. But the contrast between the relatable in the form of the whole bad guy got good theme and the unrelatable through this different world they live in, that is the thing that makes this movie so interesting and real.
So Gavin, was it hard for you as a white South African to relate to people who live in these townships, just like the ones we see in the movie?
I was born in Johannesburg like we talked about before. It all started with my grandfather. He was a barrel maker and moved to Johannesburg from a top working class part of London to work. The area I grew up in was tough, but it's a lot tougher today, and it dealt with a lot of drug issues and crimes and stuff. And to answer your question, I haven't been in the same position as the people who grew up in those townships, and therefore it's hard for me to put myself in their exact place and understand how it actually feels. But on the other hand, I think I understand them more than people would do because I have experienced a lot of things and I've lived next to these townships my entire childhood.
Thank you so much for your time, Gavin. I know you must be a busy man right now. The theme of this movie can seem kind of cliche and corny, but hearing from Gavin himself why he created this movie actually changed our thoughts about it. And by our, I mean the entire crew here at Late Night Movies. It has been a hot minute since a story has touched me like this one did. Therefore, we here at Late Night Movies are going to award tsotsi with 5 out of 5 popcorn bags. This is all we had for you on this lovely night, so yippee-ki-yay and hasta la vista, my movie geeks. Remember to get busy living or get busy dying, and don't worry, movie geeks, I'll be back.